Hey everybody, how's it going? Oh, we're still loading, hold on.
We're a little slow tonight. There we go.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode, actually our season 1 recap episode of History in a Drink. I'm Sean.
I'm Frank, and tonight we just want to talk about some of the drinks that we made this season and some of the stories that we shared with it. And in looking at it, it was kind of really a fun time for me because I got to go and learn some new history based on the drinks that we were doing. And so it's not something that I would normally teach my students as a history teacher, but a lot of the stuff was really interesting to see, and it brings that story of the average person kind of more to life. Like my favorite story that we did was about David Fairchild and the Food Explorer.
Yep.
And that was, I think, my favorite drink of the whole time was the lychee gin drink. And so I've decided I'm starting to put the recipes up. And so I'm going to just call that one the Fairchild instead of whatever name came off the internet. I'm changing it and calling it the Fairchild. And that was kind of my favorite drink. And that was just on a whim because we just came up with these lychees from Eric.
Well, we came up with our friend Eric actually had a lychee tree, and they just happened to be coming into season on it, so it was a perfect timing of that. And then, to have that go into, you had read the book about the Food Explorers, and it was absolutely fascinating. So, and we had so many fascinating stories. We had 10 episodes. As we're talking about favorites, some of the earlier episodes that we had, we talked about Papa's Pilar rum, which was absolutely fantastic. That was great stuff. I've got that back behind us on over here. That one was wonderful. We talked about
Uncle Nearest. That was
Uncle
our
Nearest,
first
which
episode.
actually, that was one of my favorite ones. So I love the story of Uncle Nearest and talk about the comment, the history about how, true history, it changed to things that we're affecting today. So that's my drink for the evening here. I've got my Uncle Nearest on rocks. So that's great.
And that was a fun adventure that we went on to go and learn about that kind of stuff. And that's the thing that I hope that you guys are going to take away from this, that are watching, is that you can go and be your own history and drink makers and go and find these stories whenever you're learning about other drinks. So my friend Jason Means told me we were bottling some of the beer that he made, and he told me about a podcast that he watched about a guy named Charles Schumann, who's a German, but he wrote a number of bar books, and they're kind of like the quintessential ones. So I went online and I found two of them, one called American Bar and then one called the Tropical Bar. And the Tropical Bar book has all these stories of how these drinks came about and all of that. And it's really kind of fascinating, and I'm hoping to bring that into season 2.
Excellent.
And share a couple of those, because he's kind of like the quintessential bartender when it comes to it. If you know his drinks in his book, then you have the basis for everything else that's out there and can build on that.
Excellent. Yeah, and when we talk about, the tropical drinks and that was another episode that was fantastic, was the story of the Mai Tai and how cruising became developed. But that was probably one of my favorite tasting drinks. That Mai Tai was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with that. And especially in figuring out what the originally tastes like instead of
Trader Vic.
Like the one we can get locally at a historic place called the Baha'i Hut, which is more like drinking lighter fluid, and a few of those.
They still only allow you 2. You're only allowed 2.
Yeah. Unless somebody else in your party gives you one, and then you start playing the piano later on that evening.
On Main Street.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's happened before.
Not to me, though.
No, not Mr. Rowena.
So, but as we look at that fun stuff, the last one, though, I think the moonshine is something that we need to come back and talk to a lot more, because there's so many awesome stories about how it came to be and all these different types of whiskeys that have come out of it, and really how it's become kind of a craft niche today.
Well, there's such a resurgence in it. It was originally the hooch, was the basic stuff, but it's then become, this resurgence nowadays, 100 years later.
Yeah, and I actually belong to an organization that is working to try and make it where we can distill our own alcohol in small quantities in our homes, because currently you can make your own beer, you can make your own wine, mead, hard cider, those kind of things. The one thing that you can't legally make at home, though, is distilled liquor. But as we've seen with the changes and the responsibilities of it, the whole craft beer industry came out of them legalizing the homebrew, exactly. And I brew a bunch of beer that way, and I haven't done it in a while, but it is a ton of fun, and I'm hoping to get back into that and share some of that kind of stuff, because what you get to do with that is if you have a favorite style of beer that you want to make on your own, then you can craft your own recipe to do that, and it's just like crafting a mixed drink.
Yep.
So you put in
In fact, tonight we have one of our good friends, Nick, brought in his own homemade mead, so we're going to give that a little bit try later on as well. So that might be a good episode for next season as well.
Yeah, exactly. So there's all kinds of different things that you can go and explore for yourself, and we would love to hear about it, and bring some of you guys in the next seasons to share the stories that you've learned and some of the really interesting drinks that you have discovered in your travels and stuff like that, because we each have our own path that we go through life, and we get to see things through our lenses, but everybody else is seeing things through a different set of lenses, and to learn about the history, learn about the different drinks, and try things is a lot of fun. So this behind us, in the episode where we talked about reef balls, this is our buddy Larry, and he has brought some moonshine today for us to try.
And actually, you know what? Let's go ahead. And not only are we trying the moonshine, but we're trying it in these amazing O'Malley's Wrecking Bar shot glasses. Special thanks to Kayla on that one. Cheers on our moonshine.
Oh my!
Oh,
That's good.
oh. That's the real stuff, right there.
Yep. So much better when it's really, really cold.
Yeah, that's right out of the freezer, and it's smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Larry, very much. That was delicious.
We appreciate
there
that.
you go. We appreciate that.
So he was going to bring us some of that last week.
What's the provenance on this boutique here? Where is it?
Kiln, Mississippi.
Kiln, Mississippi.
All right.
So yes.
So the fun part about all of this is just being able to see and try the different things, but then sharing it with our studio audience who's here, and that has been a lot of fun too, because everybody's got to try the drinks that we've come up with and tell what they like about it and stuff. So I know that when we did the Paloma, which I'm drinking tonight, that just took off within the people that we hang out with.
We've got several of them here tonight drinking that.
And for the next 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks, that's what everybody was drinking.
That was.
And it brought tequila back in, and not where you're just doing shots of it and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun with that one as well.
Well, it's such a good summertime drink. When as hot as it is down here in Sarasota, it's just a nice, refreshing drink.
Exactly, and that's part of the fun of it too. Is we can kind of tailor it to the seasons.
Yeah.
And for us down here, it's unbearably hot.
I can't wait. One of my favorite drinks when it gets to be cold is punch, specifically Irish punch, and there's some great history and stories that go along with that. Traditionally you think about like school punch at the dance kind of thing. It's got a much different history though than that. So
but we can make you hunch punch.
We can make you hunch punch too. That's some different stuff. But we're going to talk about the real true Irish punch. So that will be next season once it starts getting a little bit cooler out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what we're hoping for season 2 is to have you guys throw out some of the ideas that you may want to learn about. And I think we're going to do hopefully maybe like 60-40, where we'll come up with the ideas for 60% of it, and there's 40% coming from you guys, and we can do the research and figure out a drink and share that with you guys. Also, my goal is to kind of lay out during the week and have constant contact with you and kind of build up the episode as well, so you guys can know what's going on. We're also hoping to create the Studio Audience Club. And for $100 you can come and join us and have the drink of the night, and then what we do as a lead up to it is we have some kind of dinner with it. So tonight,
so we feed you as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we want you to have a full stomach
for
when
what
you're
we're
drinking and all the stuff that we're doing. But like tonight, we had kielbasa that we grilled and had 2 different barbecue sauces on it, and then we had grilled pineapple that was soaked in Fireball and then caramelized on the grill.
What'd you guys think of the pineapple? Oh, good job. Excellent. Good. It was good stuff.
Yeah. So we try and come up with a drink or a meal that kind of goes with the drink that we're having.
Yeah.
So it's $100, which is $10 an episode. Where can you go in Sarasota and have dinner and a drink for $10? I can't think of one place at all.
The Wrecking Bar, that's where you can do it.
That's exactly it, the Wrecking Bar. So that would be a thing that if you're interested in coming down here and hanging out with us and participating, then that's how you can go ahead and do that. Just message us here or send either Sean O'Malley or Franco Rednick a private message or DM, and we can
Fill you in.
exactly. And then one of the other things that I really enjoyed about this season was just kind of reading the stuff on the side and seeing those of you who are checking in with us and telling us some of the things that you guys thought about the drinks and everything. And we would really like to try and get more of that while the episode's going on so we can interact with you guys as the audience as well. Because that's kind of the fun part of it as well, is seeing what you guys are thinking, and especially once we get drink recipes out there a little bit earlier and stuff like that. And what I'm gonna try and do is we'll break the season down into 2 parts and kind of give you a shopping list of the stuff that you need for the first 5 episodes. Sure. And then when we get closer to episodes 6 through 10, to have that.
Absolutely.
And then this way you can go and get those ingredients and have them. Yes, Larry, we will have more tequila.
We will make sure we have more tequila, Larry, absolutely.
I love tequila too. So, actually, before we came here tonight, I was talking with my son, and he's just recently turned 21, and so he's figuring out his taste of what he likes. And so one of the interesting things with Reef Ball is they have created a partnership with the
No Shoes
Reefs. And if you know anything about that, that is the charity through Kenny Chesney.
Yep.
And it goes with his rum, which is
Blue Chair Rum.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Luke's bought a bunch of that kind of stuff, and
Sure.
we had a drink that was lime cream,
Yes.
and tequila and orange liqueur as a shot today,
Yeah.
and that was pretty darn good. And as we were looking at it, he had it on his phone, and there were a ton of them that could go with Key West.
Well,
So-
Key West would be a wonderful story too, and I'm sure bringing in Mr. Beggs and Reef Balls and some of the history with that, and maybe there might be a special guest. We might be able to tie into some of the no shoes reef situation. We'll look to see next season. So
Exactly.
That should be fun times. So, but we want to thank you guys for joining us. I think we had a fantastic season, and really look forward to. When are we looking at kicking off the next season?
I think we're going to take next week off as kind of the 4th of July kind of thing, and let me do a little bit of research and kind of get motivated to do some work and get what we need to have done for that first block of the season.
Sure.
But let's plan for not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that. So I don't know what date that is.
Excellent. We'll take a look and see, but we'll keep you guys posted as it goes. Once again, too, with everything going on in the world and the nation, there, we're not making any promises, but we'll see how we get things going and roll up from there. So.
Exactly. And stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you for season 2.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Video is holler!
Yeah!